Actually, when I came here, I gave myself 1 year, and then it was 2 years, and then 3, 4, 5. You always find something to keep you going.
Patrick Regulier is a French basketball trainer with Chinese side Zhejiang Lions under-17 team, one of the best teams in the country's youth league. Regulier used to play in Europe and later in Hong Kong, China, having dreamed of joining a CBA club one day. Even though Regulier had a rather quiet career as a player, his dream came true in a different way. After retirement, he took a different role as a trainer with a couple of CBA teams. Now with the Zhejiang Lions youth team, Regulier is in charge of training the basics of the youth players and teaching them how to use the tricks and combos in real games.
When I was younger, I was always on the court. The problem is I didn't know how to train. So I was spending 3, 4, 5, 6 hours on the court. I thought I was getting better, but actually I wasn't getting better. So this is why I'm trying to teach those players here. It's like, it don't matter if you come here or work with me for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, you come here to get better, not just to shoot around.
We spoke to Regulier about his work and his life in China, as well as his role in contributing to Chinese youth basketball development.
You played in Europe before. What does it feel like?
To play in Europe compared to China, Europe is much. I play in UK, so I didn't play in those big countries like Spain. I played in France, but I was in the youth team. So my first pro contact was in UK. So UK, it was developing. It was growing into right now. You have some UK teams like London who are in Euro Cup. For me, like this is amazing. But back then, it was they was trying to build some kind of identity. So it was okay for me. It was my first job. I just wanted to get paid. It don't really matter if it was €5 or 100, 1,000. So for me, I was just happy at the time. I went there, I was like 19 until 21. And I had a good 3 years. It was good. So, it was pretty good.
And now you experience Chinese basketball. What's the difference between Europe and China?
Well, the fans. I would say the fans in terms of the enthusiasm, towards the game, the passion towards the game. And I would say here that's the biggest difference. After basketball rules, it's FIBA rules here, same. Here obviously is much more physical, than it is in more physical. Yeah, it's not more physical. It's more like you need to try harder to get fouls and to get calls. So that's the main difference. And of course, I'm not going to go into the referees.
Yeah, I have to say that surprised me a little because European basketball is known for physical games.
You're right, it's physical, but it's fair physical. Which means like if you get foul, you get a foul. Here, it's over physical. You need to really work hard to get a foul here. So here, because I heard the theory was that they want to make the CBA tougher, harder. So when the local players play national team, they go overseas, they are more tough. That's the theory I heard. So here is it's tough.
How did you choose to move your career to China?
Man, it's a long story, man. But so while I was in UK, I was dating a lady. She was from Hong Kong, and after I had an injury at my end of my time in UK, so I was back in Europe, in Paris, for 9 months, and I was really tired of Europe at that time. I couldn't play for 9 months. So I had time to think. And one time I went on YouTube and I saw a highlight of Zhejiang Lions. Very back. It was before you go to NBA. It was like a 10-minute highlight, and I saw the CBA for the first time. I said, "Wow, the fan is cool. The floor is colorful. Everything is cool." And then I start to have some interest to go to. So maybe I should try Asia. And so my ex was from Hong Kong, so she helped me to get into a summer league, a summer basketball league in Hong Kong. And I did tell Ijelim this, when I met him a few years ago, I told him that he's the reason why I came to China, because I saw his highlight, and he was very surprised. But, yeah.
What did he say?
He was surprised. He was surprised that, like a foreigner saw his highlight and decided to come to China. So he was very happy and surprised.
Right. What was it like when you made the decision? I mean, you've never been to China before. Must be a bold decision.
No, I mean, yes, it is bold, but me, I'm somebody who I don't like to have regrets. I don't mind if things fails. That comes from basketball. That's why I like basketball, because basketball teaches you a mindset for life, not just on the court. And I always wanted to, if I had something in mind, I don't want to live with regret in 5 years. Say, what if I went to China? What if I went there? This is why when I was 19. I had an opportunity to play in UK. I went to UK. I didn't really, I wasn't like, I don't know nobody. No, I try, So even if you want to go even further back, when I was 16, before Europeans to go to NBA, they had to go through university before, back in the days. You couldn't go through, it was very rare to go from Europe to NBA. So when I was 15 years old, I wanted to go to ASA so much. You playing high school, playing university. And I remember I was 15 or 16 years old. I asked my mom to pay me two camps. And I went to UK, to USA. I don't speak English, But I'm not afraid. I prefer to try. And then if you fail, I know I try. So I wasn't afraid to come to China. For me, it was just another adventure of mine, and it was bold, but looks like I was right.
Now, 16 years. Did you think at that time we can stay in China for 16 years?
No, actually, when I came here, I gave myself 1 year, and then it was 2 years, and then 3, 4, 5. You always find something to keep you going, and then when you look back. You're here 16 years. It's going to be 16 years next month.
Maybe another 16 years.
Let's see.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Now you are with the Guangsha youth team. What do you make of this team? How do you like this team?
It's a good team. We have Guangsha. We invest a lot of resource in developing the youth. This is why we have one of the best youth team in the CBA. We are always in the top. In most categories, and I like developing the young players and to help them achieving their dream, to go to the CBA team, to the first team. So I really enjoy, because I remember of myself when I was younger. I was we call it a gym rat, which is like I was always on the court, The problem is I didn't know how to train. So I was spending 3, 4, 5, 6 hours on the court. I thought I was getting better, but actually I wasn't getting better. So this is why I'm trying to teach those players here. It's like, it don't matter if you come here or work with me for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, we have to, you come here to get better, not just to shoot around.
What's your training method towards these young players?
Well, at this age, they have to repeat a lot of fundamentals. Those things that might be look boring. As you saw earlier, it's not anything fancy. It's just, So I just have to make sure they can drive, pass, right footwork, right balance. They can stop on a dime. They can just make decisions. I keep it basic. And I want them to have a strong fundamental. So when they go to the next level, then they can learn all the fancy stuff, but they have to be able to do the basic, what is more efficient in the game. Just like, I like to say, they have to become like walking. So when you walk, if I'm asking you, when you walk, you don't think about, I go right, left.
It's muscle memory, right?
Yeah, you just walk, because you've been doing it since you're, 1 or 2 years old. But I'm pretty sure when you were 1 or 2 years old, you had to, go like this at the beginning and fall down because there wasn't, and now you just walk, run. And it's still how I see fundamentals, at the beginning, you're thinking about what to do, but the more you repeat, and then after you become second nature, and then you can, on top of that, you can build up and go into the most fancy stuff,
So what you do is let them play without any thinking. They just know what happens next.
No, first I script it. First we script the details, script the reads, and then you make it live. Like like I was doing earlier. At first, okay, you drive, you pass. Now you drive, you have to look. Does he have the ball? If not, if he has the ball, you make a layup. He's on the ball, you pass it quickly. You have to be able to read. But first you script it, and then you make it, challenging, but having them making a decision.
You said that there are 2 skills training sessions. What are they?
Oh, yes. So you have small groups. So when you have 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, then you spend more time on. I'm not going to say when you have a large group, you don't spend on details, but you it's more like personal, and you don't have it's just as explained. It's more like individuals. It's more individuals. Now, when you have group training, when you have like I had earlier, 8 guards, 12 guards. Now we do a group training. It's called like a game skills, where they have to find all the fundamentals like ball handling, change direction, passing in a game situation. So yes, you can pass maybe to the wall. That's cool, or with your partner. Now, can you pass in a game situation after the game read? Now you can retrieve the ball. Like they always teach, dribble, retreat, dribble. Okay, that's cool. Now, do you know when to use it after a ball screen, when you have to retreat, acquire the ball, and then re-attack? So when you have group, you have to make sure the synergy, the movement is smooth. You don't want to have any players waiting too long. So this is why you use more game skills when you have a large group. And when you have a small group, it's still game skills, but a bit more slow pace and more focus on one player.
It really simulates what happens in the official games, right?
Absolutely. That's the level. That's the level of play and also of coaching. If you look at all those social platforms, nowadays, and all these trainers, all these coaches, most people teach what? Dribble. Because dribble is something I learned a long time ago when I began to coach. It's the easiest thing to learn. You don't need to know the game.
And do it in the street, right?
Yeah, exactly. In the street, wherever, But now the next level is when to use this dribble. Okay, crossover, when? When? Okay, when? Why? And if he cuts you off, what are you doing? That's the next level. And at this age, the fundamental I'm talking about is not stationary and this. The fundamental I'm talking about is in the game. Do you know how to use the skill? Because everybody here is all our players from the U15 to U21. They're all skills. They all have a left hand. They all can do left hand layup. They all can dribble. Now, can they use this in a game situation? And this is why we're here, me and the coaches, to teach them this.
How have the players improved with your training? Are there any specific examples you can remember?
Well, we're the top team. We're the top team. We try to always stay in the top of the youth team in all CBA. So there's no like one player in particular who went from this and this. Everybody, we are lucky. Everybody is improving. Everybody at their own pace, but everybody is improving in toughness, speed. Some players last year couldn't dunk, and I don't know if you saw earlier in the game, we had several dunks of players who last year couldn't even do it. So everybody is improving at their own pace. And here, like I tell everybody, it's not so much about how good is the U17, the U19, the U15. It's just to go to the first team is how good you are as an individual.
Do you think you are a strict coach?
Yes. I think I'm a detail coach. Strict. Yes. I am. I try to it's a fair strict. Fair is not like I hate the players or something
Right.
like that. It's more about
It's not personal.
No, it's just I just know what it takes to play this game at the high level, and if you just messing around like earlier, some player were messing around, then for me, it's not like I care. It's just for my job is to get you better. So by you messing around, helping yourself. Me and my career is done. I retired already. It's it's all on them.
So you must let them know this is a serious job.
Oh yeah, they know it's a serious job. They know. The thing is, like here is everybody. It's a long process in the youth team. They come here. Some players since they're 13 years old, and they will stay here until they're 19. Even 20. So it's a lot of years of, and also in the youth team, it's not like in the CBA. You don't have seasons, so it's an all-year practice. You only have a break for Chinese New Year, and then you're back to it again for 1 or more years. So it's always the same, It's always the same. 2 practice per day, 5 days and a half per week, years and years and years and years and years and years and years. So I understand sometimes, the energy get lower, but hey, it is for me. I like to say is who can survive until the end, because some will quit, some will say it's too hard, or some will not improve enough, and this is the part of the game.
It's also a competition inside the team, right?
It is. Well, I want to know. Yes, Guangxia U17, we are top 3, top 1. Yes, it's cool. That's a team. That's great. But how about you? How about you though? Do you have what it takes to take it to the next level? They have to see. Most players who went to the CBA team at some point in their youth career, they went to national team. Like we had 2 players just come back to national team in the U17. So, am I saying those 2 players will for sure go to CBA? I don't know, but they have a high chance, because if you look at how it's working. Kobe said a very interesting thing is like it would be great to study the footstep of the people before you. So if you see someone went to CBA, all you have to do is to see his youth career, and you will see most of them at one point was national team. So now in the youth team, if I know these informations, I will try to work hard to get international team. That's how it's about studying, studying the greats.
Do you think you have built a deep bond with the players you have now?
Yes, because I speak Chinese. That's
the biggest proof, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, between me or the trainers. It's like I can speak some Chinese. Not all, but I can speak some Chinese enough to get with players. This is why I got some, connection with some players. And it's just it's very important. We have, as coaches, we have the informations, but the players need to trust us enough to want to know and to absorb these information. It's not about, so you have to build with players. It's very important,
What's the difference between being a player now and a coach, which gives you more sense of, being proud of yourself?
Coach.
Coach.
Because like I tell everybody, I have no shame to say it. I'm a better coach than I was a player. I am, I wasn't a great player. I cannot say I was, I was fortunate to be able to make a living of it, but I wasn't a freak of nature and a crazy player. So no, as a coach, I'm much better coach than I was a player.
I think there are many examples in the NBA, like the LA Clippers coach. He was not a great player. He's definitely one of the best coaches right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's very. I cannot compare myself to an NBA player because even to make the NBA, you need to be good. Me, I just play UK, France, Hong Kong, and China. I wasn't like a crazy European player, but as a player, yeah, I can relate. Because when you coach, you have to be able to teach what you know. And that's another skill. This is why not all great players can become good coach because you have to. Yeah, it's a skill to study. I had to study how to teach Before, when I retired, I couldn't even teach people how to dribble. I had to study and learn how to break it down so a newbie can understand.
Right. Would you call what you have done in China a success so far?
Yes, because one thing I don't tell you is that when I came to China, I want to play in CBA. But remember what I told you, I wasn't good enough. At that time, at that time when I came to China to come to play in CBA as a foreigner, you needed to go through a foreign draft. You go to Hawaii and you play a draft, and then the Chinese team select you. It wasn't like now. So I also to get into that draft, but it was difficult because you had to be invited, and it was tough, And I call it a success because I came here to try to play in CBA, but 16 years later I am in CBA, but as a coach.
In a different role.
Yeah, as a coach. So this is why I was very emotional. I even cried at my first CBA contract because it was like for me like a full circle. When I came here just to play. I was like sneaking into games, to watch games, 12 years later, I made it and I was among where I want to be as a player. So yeah, of course.
Let's talk more about China. What was your first impression of this country when you came here?
My first impression of this country when I came here was like it's big. It's big.
Country.
Yeah, big. The roads are big. Actually, everything was so big. The streets, the roads, that my first 2 weeks, actually, I stayed in my hotel room because I was coming out. I was afraid I would not be able to come back because everything is so huge, So, yeah, that was my first impression, Everything is big, At a time, not much people speak English like you. So this is why I had to learn Chinese quick because to be able to do things. You don't have all these apps like today to translate to order food, Back then you need to learn new skills to order food from anywhere, restaurant, So yeah,
to adapt to a new life, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and people are friendly. That's my first impression.
And now?
China
has changed a lot.
He did change a lot, but when because I've been here, of course, on and off, but I've been here a total of 16 years. So when you're leaving things, for me, things that are normal might not be normal back in Europe. So I see the change, obviously, the speed train and everything, the subways and the people, But it's only when I go back home that I realize, how advanced our life are here, For example, I remember it was way before the Apple Watch, but there was like a watch, like 16 years ago. You used to call a phone watch. It was a phone watch with not Android, with something else. It was a phone watch, and that people in China used to use 16 years ago. And back in Europe, I know this, stuff like this, So yeah.
So we are so familiar with the life now in China. And when you go back to France, there may be some reverse cultural shocks.
Reverse culture. Just like I told you earlier about the basketball, fundamentals, the habits. When you do something for over time, you be habits. So you'd be surprised how many times I'm at home in France and Paris, and I want to go out to eat with some of my friends, and I just leave. And then halfway, I say, oh, I forgot my wallet. Because in France, it's not like you don't pay with your phone. But here, I'm so used to paying everything with my phone, so I never take my wallet. So, stuff like that, Now, thank you, So in Europe, you still have to use your credit card, your wallet, the cash. So, stuff like that,
Chinese player Cui Yongxi, the NBA Summer League. Do you think now Chinese players are ready to play? I mean, some of them are ready to play NBA basketball.
Of course, it's about some of them don't want to go, or some of them the club don't want them to go. But there's many players who could. I'm not gonna say any name because I don't want to start any polemic, But yeah, there's some players who could have went there, who didn't go there. Who could go there right now. And it's up to themselves, up to the team they play. They want them to go to do that. And of course, I believe that so many players can go there. Even Europe. I don't know why some players don't go to Europe. They prefer NBA. I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know, but Europe as well is a good option for them.
But there are voices or concerns that Chinese players are not up to that level.
Well, when you want to improve in life, you have to be around people that challenge you. That's the only way you can get better. So that's the reason why I should go there to get better, to get beat every day by the Europeans, by NBA players, and then when you come back here, everything is much more easier. That's why I recommend them to go there and lose.
And this year, your home city, Paris, is hosting the Olympics.
Right.
What do you look forward the most about these games?
Me, I only focus on basketball. So, the basketball competition, obviously, I hope France do well. But, it's great for the city. It's always great for a city when you have any kind of event, Olympic, World Cup, Euro League, whatever it is. It's always good for job, for development. When I was back in France, in France we are very slow, not like in China, but I remember like back in 2019, they started to extend subway lines. They still finish when I was there 4 years later. I don't know if it's because of COVID or not, but it's great. It's always great for the city. I remember when I came to go back to China a bit, but when I came to China in 2008, in 2011 was the Universal Game. And when I came to Shenzhen, there was only one line. By the time the Universal came, there was like 5 lines. So it's great for the city. So it's always great for cities when there are such big events coming.
That was Patrick Regulier, the basketball trainer with Chinese side Zhejiang Lions under-17 team. With that, we come to an end of this episode of Footprints. If you are interested in hearing the lives of ordinary but incredible people in China, follow us wherever you get your podcast. Just key in Footprints, and you can find more stories anytime, anywhere. We hope to see you next time. Until then, bye for now.